Oh yeah. This meeting is being recorded. What's up, y'all? My name is Ian Edwards, and welcome to the Soccer Comic Rant. If you're listening to the podcast, you're listening on iTunes, allthingscomedy.com. And if you go to allthingscomedy.com, you have a host of other comics there with their own podcasts. There's Bill Burr, Ron Funches. Who else got podcasts there? Tiger Belly is there with Bobby Lee. Bert and Bill have a podcast there. Kelsey Cook has a podcast there. List of comedians is just crazy. If you scroll through, if you go to allthingscomedy.com, Nate Bagazi, everybody's there. And they all interview each other and they have interest in different topics. So check out allthingscomedy.com. Omni Studio is also another place you can listen to the podcast. And iTunes, I think I said that. Also, you can watch the podcast if you're not watching it on YouTube. Just like and subscribe and leave a comment, and we'll respond and hit you back. And sponsor for the podcast is onthevolleyapparel.com. And let me see if I could share a screen. As a matter of fact, I didn't bring that up today, so let me just get out of that. onthevolleyapparel.com. Go to onthevolleyapparel.com. And you can also put in Soccer Comic Rant, and we have our own t-shirts there. There's 3 types to pick from. And and now we're back to the guests. It's the usual suspects. And we haven't seen Martin in a minute, Polish comic / actor, who knows nothing about football because he roots for Spurs and Polish national teams. He's here. What up, Martin?
Hey. Good day to be here.
Good day to me. And then it's Neil, but you might not recognize him because he's not wearing a Chelsea shirt. He's a comic from San Diego. And what did Chelsea tie before the break or something like that? What happened?
Oh, we just beat the Leeds team.
When? Oh, right, before the break. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Before the international break. All right. So,
yeah.
And there's Lee in his beaten shirt, straight out of England, Southampton fan and comic. What up, man?
Good. Thanks for reminding me of the Chelsea loss.
Hey, man, that's the least I could do. You know what I'm saying? I needed to remember, so I was like, Lee might need to remember. You know, I just want to make sure you remember.
Well, hopefully, this is a winning shirt this week.
Let's see who you face this week. Who you got?
We've got Leeds at home. I got my ticket as well.
Woo!
Oh, sweet.
That's pretty good. So you're gonna get live and up front next week, like on the ground, boots on the ground in the stadium, Leeds versus Southampton. We'll talk about that a little bit later. And Martin is gonna be here till 5. So I'm trying to make the intro of the show as long as possible. So he does start speaking, he has to go. But all right, let's let him get in here. Martin, what you want to talk about, man?
Talking about, it's a good transition. Talking about Leeds beating Southampton in the next game. Klich, my Polish midfielder for Leeds, had a very, very good game as a substitute. Delivered a perfect ball to Swiderski, who scored a winner, and Poland is one way into the playoff. Pretty much, that was a strange game. 2 games happening today. Hungary played England at Wembley, and Poland played Albania at Albania. And the way the previous games happened, the way the results occurred, Albania, which was a big surprise, beat Hungary twice within a month, and placed themselves ahead of Poland before that game. So this game was do or die for both teams. You know, whoever wins this game pretty much finishes second in the group. And it was a choppy game, a lot of fouls, a lot of fighting on the field and also in the stands when Poland scored. But we got the job done, and it's almost like in 1985 when Poland also beat Albania 1-0 away to qualify for 1986 World Cup. It's pretty much, and Zbigniew Boniek, who was the president of Polish Federation, who hired Paulo Sousa, who is the coach now. He scored the winning goal in 1985 The same results all those years later. Very similar game, choppy, nervous game for both sides. The Italian coach for Albania was giving a show on the sidelines. The oldest guy in the building was the most vivid one, but it wasn't enough. The guy that both Neil and Lee were very hard about had a very poor game and was exposed.
Who's this Broja play for?
For
Albania.
For
Who?
Albania?
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure.
He was exposed today as a not as great of a player
As an 18-year-old or a young kid. That's what he's exposed as somebody learning the game and getting more experience as time goes
he
on.
got shut down by Bednarek and Glick. And Bednarek, that's I had to take a little bite at Lee, but now I'm gonna give it back. So it's like a carrot and stick almost thing here. Bednarek has been really brilliant in the last couple of games for Poland, and he's really growing to be the centerpiece of our defense because Glick is getting older and Bednarek is kind of taking over as a leader.
Glick isn't getting old; he's old.
Yeah, and Bednarek is doing a very good job recently, so it's a good sign for Southampton because you will need good defending to stay up, and he might provide it.
So you're in Group I and you have 17 points, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that accurate? All right. And England's above you with 3 points.
Mm-hmm.
And your next game is Andorra or Hungary.
Andorra is the next game, then Hungary is the game after that. But it's pretty much all is decided pretty much at this point.
And if one team from each group goes through and the other team goes into a playoff?
Yeah.
And the playoff is against how many teams? One just another team?
I think it's 2 rounds this time, right? It's 2 rounds of the playoffs.
Yes, it's 2 legs. 2 legs against the same
not
team.
for every team. For some teams, it's 2 legs. For some teams, they will play 2 teams, and some teams will play only 1 team.
Yeah, because some groups I think have only 5 teams because of the whole Nations League thing.
Oh, and that's one thing I wanted to talk about before.
But let me add to what you said. The only way things can get complicated, but I don't see that happening, is if Albania beats England. But I don't think that will happen. But that would be the only reason for things to be a little bit more complicated.
That game's at Wembley as well, so I don't think that'll be an issue.
Well,
what if Poland slips up against Hungary?
No, that wouldn't hurt us. That wouldn't hurt us.
That wouldn't hurt you?
No,
unless as far as second place.
As far as second place, as long as England doesn't lose to Albania, of course,
Yeah, Hungary got lucky today. Well, so let's talk about England-Hungary, because I didn't watch the Poland match, so I'm just taking everything that you say as law. Did you guys stink today?
No, we played good disciplined football. Lewandowski was very bad, actually. That was his off game. Mm-hmm. He had a very, very poor game, and we still managed to win. We controlled the game. They didn't do anything the whole game.
Would you say this group is tougher than the Bundesliga for Lewandowski?
No, I think what happened, because I've seen him not score in Bundesliga last game, and he didn't play well against San Marino either. I think he looked a little bit tired in the last week or so. So I think he just finally hit a wall because he was so consistent throughout the whole year. So he just looked tired, but that might change very soon.
All right. And then I do want to. When is the Ballon d'Or? When do they vote on who it's going to be?
I think they come up with a
shortlist is what's out.
The shortlist is out, right? So yeah, I want to go over that.
Is there another shortlist after this one, or is this?
No,
it
gets voted from that list.
Oh, okay.
And it takes place in November 29th. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's another thing I want to talk about too. All right. So, Lee, did you get a chance to check out the England game today? Or
I did, yeah. Bit disappointing that we couldn't get the job done because, I mean, it was a silly penalty to give away. That was Hungary's only shot on target of the whole game. We missed a whole bunch of chances as well. We looked deadly on set pieces, but just couldn't finish them. Obviously, one we did when Stone scored. Right. Had a bunch of Sterling had a good chance, Kane had a good chance. We should have put them put them to bed. But yeah, just poor finishing cost us really. It shouldn't cause us a problem because the final 2 games for England are Albania at home and then San Marino away, which should be 6 points really. Albania obviously be the tougher of the 2 games, but we should get past them. So I don't think it will cause us any problems, but it's a bit disappointing that we've drawn against Poland and now Hungary, which are 2 teams that we should be beating really.
I guess I'm not worried about those games either. I'm worried about are the Albania fans going to be tougher for the English police to deal with than the Hungary fans? Like that's where the real competition is in this group.
No, we're playing at Wembley. They should be able to keep them under control. They looked pretty rowdy against Poland today.
But the Hungary fans got into it today at Wembley. So I'm wondering if the Albania fans who threw all that stuff at the Polish players after they scored are gonna didn't the Albania team give us racist chants when we scored there and threw stuff at us?
It's Balkans.
Hungary did, yeah. Hungary was the game when Declan Rice picked the cup up and was drinking and stuff.
And Martin, what were you saying?
Yeah, it's possible because the Balkan countries are usually kind of a little bit racist, and that's one of the Balkan countries. They're also very hot-headed people, and for Albania, because I actually listened to Albanian coach who coaches one of the Polish teams. He was on an online show that I watched last night. He said about the sense of urgency. Albania never played in the World Cup, and they have probably their best team ever. They did fine at Euros in 2016, but this coach, he was able to convince the federation to start looking around and to give Albanian passports to some players who might qualify. And the Borja guy is one of them. He played for England junior team, and they convinced him to play for Albania. And they actually picked more players from Italian teams to do that. So this is not a bad team. They have the whole defense is pretty much old Serie A.
They might have had some black players if they weren't so racist.
Yeah, exactly. So
there's a lot of guys, isn't there, who they left that region during the war to settle in other countries. So that's where they can find those guys.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. It's like with Matt Cash, there's the whole story right now about Matt Cash from Aston Villa. His grandfather and grandmother, I think, immigrated from Poland around World War II, and now he wants to play for Poland. And they started trying to find if he can get a passport if we go to the World Cup, if he can play in the World Cup for Poland. So there's a lot of that movement, but I think Albania did a very good job of actually bringing some quality players in, and they really hoped today that they can win and they can finish second in the group. So that was a huge disappointment when Poland scored and the whole public erupted. But I want to say one thing, because I see a little bit of a slip up in terms of England's, because obviously England is one of the best teams in the world right now with this generation of players, and they proved it finishing top 4 in 2 major tournaments one after another, right? But I see that they kind of are not 100% engaged in games lately, and the 2 draws are the result of it. As a matter of fact, Poland was better and should have won against England because England didn't play, in my opinion, 100%. And if they don't play 100% against Albania, that is a counter-attacking team, and they have really good midfielders, they better play really good in this game, because there is a potential for an upset, but the potential for the upset is only if England doesn't take the game seriously. And it looks to me like they didn't really take those games very seriously recently.
I think we did today. It was just bad finishing. We dominated Hungary. We were better today against Hungary than we were against Poland, for sure. It was just bad finishing. But I mean, we could draw with Albania and we'll still win the group because we'll beat San Marino in the final game. So even a draw with Albania isn't the worst thing in the world. I don't know if that gives them much hope of going back above you guys, but probably not.
I don't know who I hate more, Albania or Poland.
No, draw is not enough for them because we will be still ahead of them. They have to win against England. But if they win against England, we will leapfrog England. So England will be in trouble. So
all right.
I think England just need to win one game, right?
We have 3 points. We're 3 points ahead of them. There's 2 games left.
Yeah, so you just need to win one game.
Okay. But won't they tie if we so we need a win and a tie. To have 1 point.
Yeah.
What do you think of the game today, Neil? And I'm listening.
The England game was actually very interesting. I think these last two games, he's kind of tried a new formation, right? And the last game, it wasn't really clear because he was playing a lot of these second 11 players. But today, I think you kind of saw how the new back four with moving from a 4-2-3-1 to a 4-3-3 is going to work. I kind of like this. I think this is what the kind of talent England has nowadays. I think this should be the formation that they should be using going forward, with two kind of creative attacking players in front of one holding DM.
I'd be interested to see if he still picked that team if Phillips wasn't injured, because he just loves those two guys together. And I think it kind of forced his hand today that he didn't have him available. And I was excited when I saw the team sheet, because I was like, let's get all these guys. The fact that we were able to get Mount, Foden, Grealish, and Sterling all on the field together is a good thing.
I'm going to hate on Mount again. I feel like we have more creative players than Mount, and I
don't think you have a better box-to-box player though. But I actually feel those two should be Mount and Bellingham. If Bellingham, I don't know, was he injured? Because I didn't see him.
Yeah, that's the question I was going to ask too. Was Bellingham there?
I think Bellingham's injured because I didn't see him in either of the games, so I'm guessing he's not in the squad this time. But I actually feel Foden should go up to the front line, and then should be Mount and Bellingham in those those eights.
But Foden played really well, backwards in the last game against, I think it was Andorra. It was he had two great.
Right.
He showed his passing range, and these players are still young, and we don't know what their real position is going to be. Foden kind of plays all over the place on different sides of the pitch. Sometimes he plays up more and back more. I don't think I've ever seen Man City use him that far back, haven't dropped that far back, but it was good to see him exercise his passing range. And then I know the English coach has been talking about wanting versatile players who can play in multiple positions, that he likes that. So I guess that's why he's experimenting. But like you said, where was Jude? Was he in the squad?
He wasn't today. No, I think he's injured.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just feel like with Foden, sometimes I think it's fine against teams like these, but when you actually in a major tournament, you're playing teams that have physical midfields, I think Foden can be a little bit of a liability.
Are you judging him by his size? Because then I'll just throw Iniesta and Xavi at you.
No, I mean the kind of he's actually supposed to play that, the sheer box to box. So I don't think Foden is anywhere near the caliber of Iniesta and Xavi when it comes to holding and driving with the ball right now. So and England has those physical players that also have a attacking threat. So I just don't feel that that's his position. You don't want at that place. You're not trying to use him as a Fabregas quarterback, passing in from deep. You also do want Foden to be in the front lines trying to score and assist in the final third. So
why though? When you have other players that can do that, it's like you could put him back or you can put him forward. And if you put him forward, then you put Jude in his spot. And then if Jude's not there, then you could put Saka, Grealish. You could just reel off the name of players that you could put where he's at. I don't mind playing around with his position.
No, I'm saying, but that's the position he plays. At club level, he plays in the front three. So
yeah, but internationally,
clearly that suits him more.
Yeah, but internationally, a lot of players switch positions because their countries don't have a player in that position. You know what I mean? There's so many international players that don't play in the position internationally. They play in their club position.
Before I go, I just want to say one thing. Hungary, what a disappointment! What a terrible, terrible qualification. And then they started this qualification leading 2-0 against Poland in the first game, and they looked amazing. And the game ended 3-3, and then they lose twice to Albania. They barely beat Andorra. for a team that was really impressive at Euros. They almost eliminated France, which didn't happen to be such a big deal at the end, but they almost eliminated France and Germany. For the team that was really playing attractive football during the Euros, this is a major step back. And I've been to Hungary. I lived there for a year before coming to America because I worked for the network there. I know how much they love football. I know how depressed they are with the national team. They used to have, at some point in the 50s, the best national team in the entire world that finished second in the World Cup. And now they didn't qualify to the World Cup since 1986, where the best players were Lajos Detari, the last great player. And so it's a long time, and they had high hopes for this particular qualification, and so far really underperformed.
Do you know Martin, who took them out? Do you know who took them out?
Where?
Broha took them out in 2 games. See a Super Sub winner in both games.
Yeah, the guy you said was disgraceful.
No, he just didn't have a very good game today. He was actually very bad.
Oh, so that's what it was. He just had a bad
He
game.
was busy saving himself for Southampton versus Leeds today.
Let's hope. But Narek wasn't. But Narek didn't save himself for that game, actually. All right, guys.
You got to bounce?
All
All right. Peace, Martin.
Yeah,
Thanks for joining us. Just to say that. Ronaldo had a hot trick today in Group A against Luxembourg. Jesus, Portugal just all-starred them to death.
Yeah, you'd expect that.
Yeah. I mean, they're not even top of their group, though, Portugal. Serbia is, which is, to me, crazy. I don't know. I haven't been paying attention to Serbia football, but they're ahead of Portugal.
Serbia have always got a half-decent team. They've always got players who are playing in top European clubs. So it kind of goes in cycles. They sort of have generations that move out and then the new ones come in. And I think they're building a sort of new team at the moment a little bit, but they got some good players.
Do you know any Serbian players off top? That's like
there's the I think the guy at Fiorentina's Serbian, Vlahovic, the striker that loads of clubs are looking to sign. I think he'll be one of Europe's best strikers in the next few years.
Oh, word.
So yeah, he'll be interesting. I think is he Serbian? Yeah, he is Serbian.
Yeah, he's Serbian. I mean, I think they have a couple of good. Mitrovic is Serbian. The guy who didn't really work out at Madrid, Luka Jovic.
They got Dusan Tadic, the ex-Southampton player, who's at Ajax as well.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
Let me just see their team
he's
today.
probably,
What'd you say, Neil?
Yeah, he's been there for a while, right? Tadic.
Yeah, they got Milinkovic Savic, who plays for
Lazio.
He's been linked with a lot of big clubs.
He's been linked for a while. I don't know why he hasn't made the move yet.
Yeah, and they got Nastasic, who used to play for City. Been moving around some German clubs, I think.
I think Milinkovic, the centre back. Again, I want to say he's from the same team as
Fiorentina. Yeah, he's been linked with a load of teams.
Right.
Yeah, it's a handy team they've got. They're not.
And
they're up there for sure.
And they got that goalkeeper who was taking selfies with the Messi's kid.
Right.
That's what I call him now.
Messi's kids.
Yeah.
Photographer. It's hilarious. So I guess another game I want to talk about was like the Nation League final with France versus was it Spain? Spain.
Yeah.
And I think it was like a pretty good game. And I don't know, man. Like this tournament is just like most things where they sell you something you don't want. And you're like, hey man, I don't want this. I don't need this. Like, don't do this. But then they get lucky at the beginning of this introduction of this tournament where, you know, in the finals are two teams you want to see play against each other, because that's what's going to happen in any tournament anyway. The best teams are going to get there. The best teams are going to have the best players, and they're going to go up against each other. And it's going to be a matchup you want to see, and it's going to give that tournament some type of validity. So, and then as a Man United player, it's good to see Pogba win something, and to ball out. And so Sunday, I enjoyed waking up and looking forward to watching it, and then I think it was a pretty good game. And I think, like I mentioned this on the other podcast the last week, how much criticism Luis Enrique gets, but he gets a team with no stars on it. The only star on it is an old star, Busquets, right? And he's from like win a World Cup team from 10 years ago, pretty much.
Hey, the fullbacks for the final were Azpilicueta and Marcos Alonso, Champions League winners.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, somebody here wanted to throw those guys away.
No, only one of them.
Yeah,
but it's crazy though. Like Alonso, I saw his heat map in the semi-final, and
so what?
He saw his heat map in the semi-final, and he's
working, a winger. Right?
He's a left winger. He's playing in the back four. Like, it doesn't matter. You can play him in the back four. He will make it the back three.
That's what you're saying, but I saw him play defensively this game. Like
the final, yeah, I think he had one really nice intervention that he made where Mbappe was pretty much
and that would have been a goal.
Yeah.
Playing against Mbappe.
Yeah. I mean, he can put out the hits once in a while.
You got it.
Like that Spain front line, which was Ferran Torres, Oyarzabal and Sarabia. That's not a classic Spain front line.
But that's why I would give Luis Enrique credit. Am I saying
massively?
Because he has a front line that nobody's trying to buy, and then the backups to that, nobody's trying to buy them. And so he's got this team to the Euro semifinals and to the finals of this tournament, and they lost by. It was a questionable call until it was explained to me a little bit better, but to a world class, French team, and it's like I wonder if in Spain they're still questioning this guy. Like I don't think anybody could get this out of this team.
I mean,
it's the same as the big Spanish clubs, isn't it? It's a rebuild job. The Spanish national team often reflects the strength of Barca and Real,
right?
A lot of time, and the fact that they're both rebuilding means that the national team is being rebuilt as well. I mean, you saw Gavi balled out. He was one of the best players on the pitch.
Right. How was he? 17, 18?
17, yeah.
Yeah. And I was just mentioning to you a few weeks ago when it was him in a Champions League game, and they got beat. But it's like they're kids. And as a matter of fact, in that Champions League game, we was talking about De Jong didn't play. I forgot that he had a card. So it's Gavi, his grandfather Busquets, and then some other kids, and a goalkeeper.
Busquets played really well. I think Spain was, if you leave aside the finishing, I think Spain was the better team. It just they have no, like, at least not in the level of what France has with Benzema and Mbappe.
Right.
They just don't have anywhere near that level.
Benzema's goal was class.
Yeah.
Like it's so class that even the goalkeeper, and that was like two really good goalkeepers. That's two of the best goalkeepers in the world. And that goalkeeper touched it, and it's like, nah, this is going in.
Yeah, Lloris made some big saves.
Yeah, he did, especially towards the end. Yeah. Did y'all hear Pogba's halftime speech?
No.
He gave a great halftime speech, and he rallied the troops, which is something that makes me think about Manchester United. It's like, I guess he's not the captain for Spain either, for France either, but he does talk up. I wonder if he feels comfortable speaking as much in the Man United like locker room. Like I always feel like it's an insult to me if I'm Pogba, if Maguire's my captain.
Yeah, I remember, like, right when they won the World Cup, there were these scenes that came off, which was, I don't know if it was at halftime or if it was before the game, where Pogba is really, giving an incredible speech about that this is what's going to define your career, and
Right.
you gotta do everything you can and leave whatever's happened has happened now. Yeah,
You go full like Al Pacino in Any Given Sunday.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hilarious. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, for sure, you ain't gonna see Hugo Lloris do that.
Yeah.
You know, we all saw the documentary.
Yeah, or Hurricane. Nobody in that line can talk.
So
yeah, Kane can't even negotiate his own contract to get out of Spurs.
Yeah,
But
yeah. So I mean, I'm not surprised that I'm pretty sure United. I'm sure he had these moments. It's just that, you know, when you think about these things, that France won the World Cup. France won the Nations League this time. That's where you're gonna release information or footage about these events, right? Like United hasn't really won anything for a long time now. So
right.
Even if Pogba has been making an impact in the dressing room in terms of his leadership, there's no galvanizing moment to, you know, bring this sort of effect out, like, you know, to have it known to, you know, people like us, like who are just watching. So, but also I feel like at United, the whole point that Pogba is not sure if he's going to stay probably also hurts his captaincy chances.
Right, but even before that, like, you know, he signed this contract, right?
Yeah.
This is he's at the end of his second contract. So all this time, Maguire was his captain.
Yeah.
I just don't. Yeah.
Wait, who's the club captain right now at United?
I mean, you have Bruno and Ronaldo in the dressing room. I just get the feeling as soon as Maguire starts speaking, they're like, shh.
Wait, is Maguire the club captain, or is it like he's the captain because the captain isn't playing?
He's the captain. He has the band.
He is like, if everybody is fit and
when everybody, like, he's been the captain like every game for so long, but he's also been durable and made all the games. But I think they made him captain. I'm trying to think when they made him captain. I mean,
who was the captain before him?
It was like sometimes Young, you know.
Oh yeah, Young, and then Young left.
And then Young left, and can't remember right now. But even the Young thing was shaky.
I always thought they should give it to De Gea, but then De Gea didn't stop becoming De Gea. So
yeah, but now he's back to it. Yeah, De Gea would have. Yeah. I'm sure Pogba would prefer De Gea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maguire's quite a vocal player on the field, to be fair.
Right. But anybody can just yell at people.
Yeah, but for me, like captaincy doesn't really mean that much. Like, you want your players to step up and be leaders, whether they've got the armband on or not. And the more people you have that are capable of doing that in your team, then the better your team's going to be. Like, you know, if he's wearing the armband, but you've got characters like Pogba, like Ronaldo, like Bruno, then they can do those things without an armband on. It's fine.
Looks like
I don't know, man. I saw a band of brothers. The captain's very important. You know what I'm saying? They had to get rid of that guy to become the unit that they became. So I'm using a war limited series on HBO, but it was pretty damn good. Once they got rid of their captain, they became.
Looks like Maguire is Maguire is the fifth captain Pogba has been under at United.
That's pretty crazy. Like, what do you see? Like, who is ahead of him?
So in his first year, Rooney was still the captain.
I agree with that.
And then Rooney left.
And that's then fading Rooney.
Yeah.
It's not even peak Rooney.
Yeah. So then it was again a fading Michael Carrick for the next season.
Oh yeah, super fading.
And then pretty sure this is a very fading Antonio Valencia, who was the captain for the next season.
And I respect Valencia. I would never shit on Valencia. He's
but, like, you know, if you're having captains changing every season, that can't be good. For, like, he was, I think, 33 too. So
like, they'll do anything to not make him captain, it seems.
Yeah, like they just keep picking the guy who's next out of the door in terms of retirement.
Yeah.
And then Valencia, and then the next year was Ashley Young. So now it's Heidelberg. So it's literally every year it's been a new captain, like 5 captains in 6 years.
I feel like
Actually, Maguire's the longest serving because he's now in the second season.
I feel like if Phil Jones wasn't injured, they'd make him captain over Pogba. I think this is it's something weird.
And that's, you know, if you look at something like United, like we've all grown used to seeing Roy Keane being the captain for forever, and then it was Gary Neville for a pretty long time. So the fact that there is it just shows, like, you know, what the path United has been on for the last, ever since Ferguson left. These are some of the things in which it kind of manifests itself in. The fact that there is no clear leadership group in the team.
But also,
how many captains of...
He was captain under Mourinho a little bit, and then he had that argument in that Spurs game, and when he came back from the World Cup, and then Mourinho stopped making him captain. So he was he's been captain, but I'm sorry, Lee. One second. I feel like Solskjaer should. How you feel about them moving the captaincy around, where they have like more than one captain and different people wear the armbands each game? How do y'all feel about that?
Most clubs have a leadership group outside of the captaincy. I don't agree with moving it around because then it just becomes pointless.
Yeah.
I think you need someone with it, but you need a group of leaders rather than, like I say, just one. A lot of clubs that I know behind the scenes, they have a leadership group of 3 or 4 players who, if they're the ones who will go to the manager if there's an issue they need to speak on, something like that. And that will normally be senior players. So it wouldn't surprise me if there's something like that at United. And there is at most clubs. But what the question I was about to ask Neil was, how many captains have Chelsea had since John Terry? Just as a comparison, like, has it been consistent, or has that changed? Because he was it was similar to like Keane at United. He was your captain for so long.
Yeah. So we had Gary Cahill for 2 seasons, I think.
All right, I respect
and
that.
And then Cahill left, and then it's been Azpilicueta. In Cahill's last season as captain, he rarely played. He was the club captain, but under Sarri, he barely ever played. So
who was the?
So Azpilicueta was the vice captain, and he kind of became the face of captaincy. And then,
so you haven't had it moving every season, kind of thing.
No, so Azpilicueta has been captain since, and.
But who was captain when he barely played?
When Cahill barely played, Azpilicueta.
No, right, but you said Cahill left, and then Azpilicueta was the captain, but under Sarri.
No. The other way around. So basically, John Terry left captaincy, and then there were 2 seasons where Cahill was the club captain.
Oh, and he barely played.
In the second of those seasons, he barely played. So Azpilicueta was the captain. Oh, okay. So I think, it's probably 4th season where pretty much he's been the captain of the club. So, but we have others, like there's a pecking order of that eventually in a certain game it led to Mount.
I've seen Mount captain a game.
Yeah, Mount is, I think, our second captain, or second or third.
I feel like Mount just gets things too easily.
I think one thing you can never say about
irks me a little bit.
I know, and it's not just you, it's Chelsea fans too, because unlike a lot of youngsters that come through the system, he isn't gonna be, he doesn't catch your eye as quickly as some of the others. Like, I think he had that spell, but he is the heartbeat of the team. We know like how Chelsea plays with or without him. Yeah. It's stark.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Let me ask Lee first. Gallagher or Mount?
Mount at the moment.
Why?
I think he's a more rounded player. I think he'll do more out of possession. I think his set pieces are better as well. Gallagher is a bit more dynamic. I think he's a bit more mobile. He can take people on a bit better, but I think overall Mount is a better player and more experienced at the moment. I think Gallagher could surpass him, but I think they're 2 different types of attacking midfielder, really. But if I had to pick one, I would go Mount.
Right.
For now.
I think Mount
in 2 years, that answer might change in 2 years.
Right. I think I think Mount has him as far as experience and opportunities. But I'm gonna it's a race that I'm making in my head, and I'm going to continue to monitor, because like even when Crystal Palace was playing Brighton the other day, and I remember like watching. I've been just somehow watching a lot of Gallagher games, and from even last season. But there was something I was saying about how he makes himself available to his teammates, and he's a great wingman. And then in Match of the Day, they showed how Brighton smartly like attached somebody to him, like Dunn, so that he couldn't like be there everywhere he got to in an attacking position to give his teammate a pass. Like I think it was Dunn, he was there, and I was like, oh, that's pretty smart. That's because this guy becomes, he plays like he's an extra man. He makes you feel like you're a man down sometimes on offense when they're attacking you. But and I like that, and I know he's like all over the place. So, like he'll go back and defend, like, but I don't know.
Gallagher actually, like when Mount left on loan, his first loan,
Mhm.
at the academy level, Gallagher kind of started playing in those same positions that Mount kind of used to the previous season. So yeah, I think we'll come to that. I think near the end of the season, who makes it from the loan army and stuff. But I mean, Mason Mount, at least for Chelsea, I think he's been ticking every box required. I'll give you one small example of that. I don't think this season Mount's been in great form. The season's just begun, but like
So you don't think he's been in great form?
I don't think he's been in the kind of form we've known Mount to be in.
Me neither.
But he's been injured for like he's played 7 games. I think he started only 5 because he's missed a few games.
Mm-hmm.
But he's still second in the league, not just Chelsea, like throughout the league in big chances created. So this is an out of form, partially injured Mason Mount. So we just know, like,
that just means Chelsea stinks.
No, I mean this is league stats. I'm not talking about just Chelsea stats. This is across the league.
I know. Well, Jesus. His chances created more than Pogba's
created.
7 assists.
Big chances created.
Big chances.
Big chances. Like with that's a metric where you create a chance and you're expected to score. Like your XG's probably had in 0.5 or something.
So you're talking Werner chances created.
Yeah.
These are all Werner's.
Yeah.
Okay, I see. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I'm blaming Mount for shit Werner did when Werner should have scored.
I mean against Southampton, one of the reasons why we had that last push was the fact that Mount came in and added that extra midfielder, and he would have gotten an assist if Lukaku didn't from point blank range hit the post. So,
all right.
Well, it's interesting games for Mount and Gallagher this weekend. Brentford will be a tough test for Chelsea, I think, and Palace are away at Arsenal. Will be interesting to see what Gallagher can do there.
Yeah. Oh, and then Patrick Vieira is going to be coaching against Arsenal. Yeah. I think for the first time in his professional career
at the Emirates as well.
Especially at the Emirates. That's where he kind of made his name.
That's a Monday night game this weekend as well.
Yeah, so that's good. I want to talk about that in a few, but I just want to go back one quick question. So where does this Nations League tournament stand for y'all? As far as like, as a tournament, as interest or legitimacy, as a legitimate tournament, I guess.
I don't really care about it, if I'm perfectly honest.
Yeah.
Like it's for me, it's better to have that than friendlies because it means something maybe, and it puts good teams against good teams, which you want to see. But for me, it's not the Euros, it's not the World Cup, so I don't really attach much. It's like the. I don't know if you remember like the old Intertoto Cup or something. It's like
does it rank below the Confederations Cup?
No, even Confederations Cup I find more interesting because it pits all the winners of things against each other. And the Nations League is just, it serves its purpose, which was UEFA created it to try and reduce the amount of games that meant nothing in the international calendar, and it serves its purpose there. But I can't get excited about it the same way I do about actual big tournaments.
So it's no Euros. And what about you, Neil? Where does it rank?
I mean, it's something that's just come up. I think for it to get any sort of legitimacy, it's going to take a very long time. I probably don't even think it's going to last. Like they're probably going to get bored of it and get rid of it and start something else, in a couple of years. But when it comes down to actual games, as long as the players are taking it seriously, which they did, and the managers are taking them seriously by playing, their first 11s and trying to actually go for that trophy, go for the win. How different is it from a Euros or a World Cup in that sense? Like, I actually thought the Spain-Italy semi-final in the Nations Cup was a much better game than the Spain-Italy semi-final at the Euros. So, it's kind of mixed for me. Maybe not having that pressure helps. Some of these teams playing a little more freely, like France, Belgium. The tackles were, you wouldn't have known if this is something that didn't exist a couple of years back.
Hilarious. That's funny. For me, it's like if you win it, then it's legit, and if you don't win it, you know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Pogba and them could still like hold those medals. They held those medals like, we really tried to win this. This is legit, and they're trying to make this legit.
Like, imagine
when Pogba speaks to like his grandkids one day, he's going to be pulling the World Cup medal out of the drawer, isn't he? He's not going to be reaching for the Nations League medal.
I know.
But that's the thing. Like, if Belgium had won, you know how they would have branded this, that the golden generation finally won a trophy. So it would have been a big deal if Belgium had won. It's just that France has already done everything else, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, France has already come second in every competition, so they decided let's not do that this time. But let's go back to Martinez, because he lost like midweek.
Oh,
what do y'all think of Martinez as a coach, man? Is this should he get the Barcelona job, or is not good enough? Like, is there much of a distance between him and Koeman? Is this an exaggerated feeling about him out there?
I just don't really see him as a Barca manager. It doesn't look like a fit for me. I mean, he plays the right way, but I think it'd be a change for the sake of making a change, especially when they're trying to rebuild. I think there's more chance he'll come back to the Premier League, maybe.
Would you ever take him as a Southampton coach?
Yeah, if Ralph left. I mean, we've got Eddie Howe waiting for us, apparently. So they won't happen. But like, I could see him being like the new Newcastle manager or something. Because I think Newcastle won't, when they get rid of Bruce, which is going to happen in the next few weeks, I don't think they'll appoint a truly like elite manager immediately, because they need to build the team for a couple of years.
So first. You're saying he's not a truly elite manager. So that's you're saying, and I'm with you. Yeah. That's
what leagues has he won? What major trophies apart?
But I feel like they're acting like
Wigan was. The FA Cup with Wigan was a great achievement, but he's been sacked from all his other clubs.
Yeah, but that's my point. Like, I'm with you. I feel like they treat Martinez like that Wigan FA Cup was Champions League or some shit. Like, the type of jobs he gets based on that Wigan FA Cup is bananas.
No, he went and got fired. He went and got fired by Everton after that. He's not like
right.
And then he's underachieved essentially with Belgium's greatest ever generation. So, I think he's not in that top elite tier of managers. He's in the group underneath that, probably. But yeah, I mean, like I say, he's the sort of manager I think Newcastle should go for while they get some good players in for a couple of years, and then bring in someone that's at the top once the team is in a place to be managed by one of those guys.
Speaking of Newcastle, Martin left, and his team plays Newcastle.
Oh, yeah.
Any more thoughts? Like, we talked about Newcastle and their new owners the day of, right? I think the day after. So it's coming up this weekend. The new owners got a brand new game. They got Steve Bruce. I think this will be Steve Bruce's 1000th game. I think they should just let him coach it, just for him. It's not gonna. But I feel like the fact that the team has new owners is the coaching boost that they need for this game. And then you could get a double coaching boost by when you do get rid of him, the new coaching, instead of like let the new ownership boost win this game, and then let the new coaching boost win the other game. And so you get two boosts for the price of one, instead of doing it all in one. But
yeah, the atmosphere will be rocking at the stadium this weekend.
Yeah, it'll be like when we marched out Ronaldo or Varane at those home games at the beginning of the season.
But I'll be very surprised if Steve Bruce is the manager this weekend.
Oh, he will be this weekend.
Yeah, he should be. He's working. He's doing the practices.
I don't know, because I think they'll sack him either today or tomorrow, and like get a I mean, as in tomorrow or the day after UK time, and get like some sort of a assistant manager. He's just so toxic. Like if you see all the commentary from Newcastle fans and people who are like reporters who are close to the club, I think all the goodwill that is being generated by the owners among the fans, this is like having Steve Bruce is, they just don't want to see their face. Like no Newcastle fan wants to have him anywhere around. So you're kind of like, you're screwing things that you could go smoothly. So it's not like Steve Bruce is giving them a fighting chance to win either. So
I mean,
it's literally the easiest decision football has seen.
I think they'll keep some consistency for a little bit. I don't think he'll last till the end of October,
right?
But I think he'll be there this weekend at least.
I think I think maybe as a sympathy vote for like having him manage his 100,000 game.
Yeah, let him do that.
Other than that,
and then give yourself more time to make a better decision as far as who's going to follow him.
Well, about the decision, unlike a lot of other takeovers, this one, they've been around for a while. They've been, I think, the owners.
Right.
This has been in the works for a pretty long time. So, like, my thought is like they should have had enough chance to, make a call as to who is going to be that manager. So,
but they had to do a lot more extra shit to get this team than most owners would have to get a team. Like they had to like detach the. Yeah. So let me ask you. So it's so weird. So they have. So I just want to bring it up now so I don't forget. So Saudi Arabia had to pay $1 billion. Like who paid the $1 billion to be in TV? The Saudi Arabian government, a company in Saudi Arabia, this company, like who had to pay that money to be in TV?
I think it was the Saudi Arabian like national TV network, which is owned by the government or the royal family. Everything's owned by the royal family in different names. So they did. So let's say that's what happened, because I think that's what has happened, and it's better for my trajectory, right? So they said, all right, give us because they had these boxes that copied and stole the signal, and they even had like something written on the boxes as a fuck you to being TV. So so what did you just see, Neil? Did they support what we're saying?
No, basically it's an arbitration, right? So it says damages against Saudi Arabia. So there's Saudi Arabia. So it's probably just the government that they sue.
So Saudi Arabia. But then England makes sure, like, so the Premier League says, all right, we're also going to make sure that the Saudi Arabian government doesn't run this consortium. And they're not the owners of the team is not the Saudi Arabian government, but the Saudi Arabian government paid the billion. So the Saudi Arabian government does own this team. Yeah. So it's just like, what type of paper thin thing are you presenting to us? This is the Saudi Arabian government. And then there's people up in arms, but like I said last week, like England has a history of colonizing the world and probably have killed, not even probably, more people than Mussolini, Hitler, Attila the Hun, Alexander the Great. You just name everybody combined all over the world, and England owns the Premier League. And
also, right now, it's the UK government that are selling loads of arms to Saudi Arabia that they're using on the Yemeni people. So
yeah, so
it's our own government. We need to ask questions of everyone here first before we start on everyone else.
Right. So exactly. So everybody's like, hey man, it's like, but also at least football and the selling of the team made Saudi Arabia change some of their rules, like as far as execution of kids and public floggings and I think there's some other things. So at least it didn't change everything. You can't expect a football team to change everything, but it's good that it did some things that hadn't been done or nobody could get them to do in a minute just because they wanted to own the team. And they might have to.
Well, we'll see. We'll see whether Steve Bruce gets fired or whether he disappears.
Somebody is asking me
to disappear.
Somebody is asking me that Lampard's one of the they have this the betting guys have their odds, right? Like Lampard's. I think a lot of managers out of a job right now are on that list. Somebody's asking that if Lampard's going to be a good fit. I'm like, Lampard's a club legend. I really want him to be around.
But don't you want him to go experiment some places?
I would prefer him to be alive for me to like keep enjoying.
You're stupid.
Well, the thing is that you don't have to pay a manager compensation if he disappears. You got to pay him compensation if you fire him, but
no body, no crime. I feel you. That is the law.
The thing with the whole PIF thing, I think what they wanted to know is if PIF has a majority stake in Newcastle, so that they're trying to
have 80%.
Yeah, so I don't understand how just by changing it from 100 to 80% move the needle on anything. Like that's still majority.
Amanda Staveley has 10, and then there's this other set of guys that have 10, but they have 80. So it's like they have majority. It's like, and then they're using Amanda Staveley, a woman, as the figurehead to say, hey, we're not that bad.
Masterstroke.
We have a woman. We have their hand is up to her back, telling her how to move.
But the thing is, like, I don't think there is anything legally the Premier League could have done either. Like when they made all their rules in terms of ownership, what define. I think they have a few clauses to say you have to be a good owner. Essentially, I'm forgetting what the exact clause is. I don't think any of those clauses, fair and proper persons. I don't think any of those clauses were made thinking of a future where nation states would come in. So now, when you have a group which is investing, they can show their portfolio that, hey, we invest in. You're not the only people we're trying to invest in. We invest in Facebook. We invest in Uber. We have business relations with your government. If we can't pass your test, how is your government having diplomatic and business relations with us all the time? So, this is not like South Africa in the apartheid era, right? Where there was societal and governmental at that level.
It's actually worse, but you're right.
No, but in terms of there was a precedent set. It's not. I know in those terms, like in those days, sports played a huge role in sidelining the white South apartheid government in South Africa, but it didn't start from sports. There was right now, like there's absolutely nothing that the Premier League. I think if they try to block it, they're probably going to get sued.
Well, they did block it 4 years ago. They wanted this, or a month ago when they wanted this to happen. They said, "No."
But they blocked it for the piracy thing.
The TV,
right?
Stuff.
They did.
I mean, that's a legitimate business thing they can, hang their hats on. I don't think they can. I don't even know on what grounds they would block something.
But Saudi Arabia just promised to stop certain things like
I don't think they're
executing kids. Executing kids.
Did they actually promise that?
Cutting down on the amount of executions and public flogging.
That would be the weirdest admission slash.
But they do. But it's factual. They do it. Those are the.
That's like when the Taliban took control of Afghanistan and said, no, we're gonna treat women nice now, and they have not.
Yeah.
I think it's all. I think one of the big issues was team,
the smoke show.
I think a team cannot legally be owned by a government was one of the Premier League's rules. But then with this one, that was a question. But it's like, no, it's the investment fund. And they're like, oh, who's the chairman of the investment fund? It's like, well, it's the Crown Prince.
The government,
but
and all of its money, all of its money is from the government too. So
and
oil, it's essentially a government division as a company. So it's all pretty, But I mean, like we said, every other
Star
club
Wars arm of Disney
standing to go on. So
I'm not. Everybody's dirty, but at least, hopefully, according to the agreement, maybe this will help some people. Not everybody, but in a good way. It's something. At least football might do something. It might help.
It means there's more eyes on them.
More eyes on them. Yeah, more eyes on them. Yeah, like anything they do that's outlandish, like they can't kill a Khashoggi now as messy as they killed a Khashoggi. It has to be. They
has to be super clean.
Make sure the girlfriend is not waiting outside the embassy for him to come out.
So you're saying that we're going to make them more efficient killers?
Yes, yes, the least. Yes, you have to be. You can't, because if you have a messy killing, you make us look bad. And hire, you have to do better than a Russian placing plutonium next to somebody's briefcase. You have to do better than the Khashoggi thing. You cannot, just let the person go. Let them talk shit about you.
I think I want to see how far back the timeline on this goes, because I want to find out whether the Saudis were interested in buying a Premier League club before the whole Khashoggi thing happened. Because, I mean, everybody knew that there are elements of Saudi Arabian government that, some of the laws aren't really on par with, what human rights guidelines are. But I feel like the Khashoggi incident was such a huge thing that it kind of, drove the eyes from eyes of people around the world, that really caused a dent on their image. So, I'm just trying to figure out, like, if that was one of the things, like, oh, we got to do something about image now. So that's where the whole concept
they've got away with it, essentially.
They got away. They blamed it on some rogue people who were close to the Crown Prince?
Yeah,
this is also the same guy who locked up his relatives and other heirs to the throne in the Ritz and made them sign over all their wealth to him so that he could be the majority ruler, but also so that he could manage the funds of the country better, so
they've got they were proven as well, the Saudi government, to have taps on so many high profile people's phones as well.
So does the American government.
If you're but if you're the manager of Newcastle, you need to be watching what you're saying on WhatsApp and shit.
yeah, exactly.
They're gonna know.
They're gonna know. Yeah, so if you're gonna become a manager
for the rest of your life, you can't be coming out 5 years later and going on TalkSport and talking shit about the ownership.
Because when you break up with them, they're gonna have shit on you for the rest of your life. Yeah. So what's going on now as far as who are the candidates that people are proposing? We spoke a little bit last week, but now that a week has gone by, whose name is popping up the most? Or what's...
I've seen a few, Neil said Lampard, Gerrard.
Mm-hmm.
Gerrard's name's been brought up as well. I've seen some others like Conte, but I don't think apparently I've also seen other stories saying that he wouldn't. Lucien Favre, the old Dortmund coach. Villas Boas, all sorts of people.
He's a good one. That Dortmund coach is good. Is a good idea.
Lucien Favre,
not the one right now. The one before, or
well, he's two coaches ago. Yeah.
That's a good idea.
He almost went to Palace before Vieira. He had agreed in principle to join them and then backed out. So I don't know why.
Maybe he got a call from the side and said, "Hold on a second.
Give us a few months.
Give us a few months. We're about to do some shit."
I saw they're also interested as a director of football to get Ralph Rangnick in. And I think that would be a really big coup because he is one of those guys who's, from that German, the new age of German coaching that's taken over. He is one of those, like how Cruyff was associated closely with a certain style of coaching. I think Rangnick is that guy for that style of coaching. So
all of them, like Klopp, Tuchel, even Hassan as well. Like they've all been educated. Nagelsmann as well. I think it would definitely, if he was appointed as the technical director, it would definitely alter the course of who they hire managerial wise. Be interesting.
It makes sense that they go for the director of football before they hire a manager. In terms of from a building blocks
he'll pick the manager, help him pick the manager.
All right. The last thing you want to do is get manager and then Ralph Rangnick's your director of football. He's like, who the fuck is this guy? Like that. This is not. He doesn't do anything the way I want. So.
All right. So I just want to move to the Ballon D'Or, right? Candidates, right? There's 30 of them, right?
Yeah.
So I look at this list, and is it me? Does this contest not feel does this field not feel as strong as it used to in prior years? And when I see, no disrespect to Aspilicueta, but for Bullen, the field can't be strong. Like Aspilicueta is so good that the Ballon d'Or is supposed to be so much better than him, which is what makes somebody a Ballon d'Or candidate, because you don't even consider Aspilicueta.
But this is a 30-man list, right? So you are gonna have.
But there's so many Aspilicuetas on this list.
I mean, Aspilicueta has had a great season. Like he has barely put a foot wrong.
For Aspilicueta, exactly.
No,
he's done more than some, like Simon Kjaer is on there, the Denmark and Milan centre back.
I question that too. There's so many names on this list that I question. Even I don't know, when I think of Ballon d'Or, maybe it's because.
No, because you're looking at, I don't think we ever went through the 30-man shortlist in previous years. It was just known that it's gonna be either Superman or Batman winning the Ballon d'Or.
That's what
why
I'm saying,
bother with everything else?
Yeah, maybe that's what it was.
Yeah.
But even still, looking at, come on, Cesar Aspilicueta as is one of the. You're saying he's one of the 30 best players in the world. I
think if you take a combination of both what he's done versus what his team has achieved,
it's not best players in the world, it's best performing players in the past year.
And it's a calendar year. It's not the previous season either.
Listen, guys, I get it, but it's like, and I see him play in the Premier League.
He's consistent though. He rarely has a bad game. He's not he doesn't stand out, but if he will be like a 7 out of 10 every week. And
Spain reached the semi-finals too, with Aspilicueta playing every game. So, and that's actually from a few of the names kind of surprised me. As you said,
go ahead.
You said Simon Kjaer, but I think that was because of the way he helped Christian Eriksen. I think that was the
So
kind of the
is this a
motivating
Ballon
factor.
d'Or or best EMS teammate? Like what?
I think I chuck them in the nominees.
Simon Kjaer being in there for helping Ericsson is like being a person.
But tell me why.
Like
Tell
America's
me,
Got Talent, or like with like a sob story or something.
but tell me why what is Pedri doing in that list? What is
It's
Gerard
like
Moreno doing in
he's
that
got a
list?
whole he's
What
got a
is-
whole lifetime of being on this list ahead of him.
What is Luka
So why is
Modric
he-
doing in that list?
To be fair, Moreno scored a
Scored
shitload of goals in an okay Villarreal team and won the Europa League. So
Did he score a shitload of goals? Or he did?
Yeah, he did.
he scored a lot. Yeah, he might have even won the Golden Boot in Spain. I can't remember who did. He was up there.
The fullback?
No, he's a centre forward.
no.
For
Oh, he's a
Villarreal.
centre forward.
You're talking
Oh
about
yeah, I think he
Albert
scored like. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, I think he scored like 30 goals last season, or something like that. I just like when I see Neymar, right? And when I see, first of all, why does the list have to be 30? Like when I see Neymar and Carr, they shouldn't be on the same list. When I see Neymar and Barella, like Neymar's so good that even though Barella's good, he's not good enough to be on this list. Like I don't even think Benzema is good enough.
But what has Neymar done though in this year?
But
He
it- but
lost.
that's-
They didn't win the
but that's-
Liga. They didn't even win the Liga. Didn't get the Champions League. He didn't even win the Copa America.
But sometimes you just
To be fair, I mean, Moreno scored 23 goals for Villarreal in the league in a top team and won a Europa League. He did more than Neymar.
Possibly, yeah.
but we're
Now
talking
you
about
put it
like
that way.
we're talking about like accomplishments as opposed to like looking at how good a player like so it's Mourinho, is it Moreno's team or what they accomplished in that league and he's a part of it?
No, but
And
he is a
as
critical
opposed
part of
to-
it, right?
Yeah.
Right, yeah, he's a critical part of it. Yeah, I give him that. But the 1 year Neymar's team doesn't win, Neymar's not his level has gone down to Moreno's. Like how
They
many
didn't
goals
even win the
did
French
Neymar?
league.
Yeah, but they won some stuff. They still won two trophies or something. And how many
Yeah.
goals did Neymar score last season? An assist.
Not a lot. I'm pretty sure
But
he did score a lot.
Let's find
So,
out. Like I just don't think
Moreno also won the Golden Boot.
I mean, if
He
I'm
won the
not
Europa League and the
mistaken,
Golden Boot
if
for
I'm
it.
not mistaken, Neymar was injured for most of the season.
he's still better than Moreno.
No, I get it that he's better, but like, then
So
we
why
shouldn't
put
have
so why put Moreno on the list if he's not better than
because he hasn't
Neymar?
So
He's
he
not
hasn't
gonna
played better this
go
season.
ahead of him.
So Moreno,
Uh-huh.
second behind Messi in La Liga, Golden Boot, winner of the Golden Boot in the Europa League. So above all your players who played.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm not fighting
and
for none of my
scored in
players.
the final and won the trophy. So
But it's the Europa League. You know what I mean? Like you shouldn't be like talk about achievements. Like you shouldn't be. You can't have a Europa League player.
you're only saying this because you lost.
No, I'm not. I don't like. I don't have a dog in this fight. Like right now, I'm like
He scored in the
quality of
Euros for
player.
Spain as well.
How many did he miss in the Euros for Spain? How many?
Not as much as Morata.
Because yeah, there's a lot of chances created, and I'm not just picking on him. I'm just like even like to see Jorginho's name on the list. It's like
Hey, Jorginho might win it, That is gonna really rank you.
but that's not right. You mean there was no better player this year in football than Jorginho?
I think we have to start getting used to the fact that the Messi Ronaldo era is over. So every season from now on is going to be contentious. It's going to be contentious at a top 30 level. It's going to be if they go down to top 10, and it's going to be contentious the eventual winner. Like I'm actually surprised from a Chelsea point of view. Why are Rudiger, Christensen, and Mendy not on it? Like these three players have not put a foot wrong the entire season. One Champions League. Christensen also reached the same final of the.
Well, Rudiger season, he got good halfway through.
No, but this is the calendar year thing. So he got through he got good at the exact point this Ballon d'Or is supposed to count, the calendar year 2021.
But he wasn't good at for like January.
No.
When did
Tuchel came in mid-January.
Mid-January?
Yeah.
And this is a calendar year thing?
This is a calendar year thing.
Also, goalkeepers rarely seem to make it on. So even though Mendy was amazing, like they're like, oh, we can only have one goalkeeper on the list.
Yeah, I don't understand that. Like Donnarumma is on it. Like Donnarumma had like 5 good games in the Euros. That beats what Mendy has done over the entire season.
I would fight for Mendy over a bunch of these guys on this list. I would, because he really made a difference for 30 mil.
Yeah, he made a difference too. Yeah.
For 30 mil, he made what's the Liverpool goalkeeper impact? What's the Liverpool goalkeeper?
Alisson.
He had an Alisson effect. Like he's a legit dude, man. Like you could see like nobody would have made that save. Like and that save wins the game. Like and that's, you could see the value. So that's what I'm talking about, like the value. Not like what the whole team does, like the value of this player just overall. Like and I just see like, oh, let's put this guy on because his team did this. And now all of a sudden the Europa League is worth more than it normally is. Like because they need a name to put on this 30 list. Mo Salah should be on there.
Second behind Messi in La Liga as well.
Yeah, you mean goal scoring?
Yeah.
Yeah.
From Moreno. Messi got 30, Moreno got 23.
I mean, you have to also think about like Ronaldo on that list.
He's not on it, or he's not?
He's on it, but he hasn't had a great season yet. I mean, the great calendar year.
Well,
Juve flopped
goal-wise, he has. So what?
Juve flopped hard though, and Portugal didn't do much.
But then look at, but that's the thing. You're looking at Juve, but look, because what if you're the good player on a bad team and you're doing your thing and you're getting your numbers, but the rest of the team is not? Are you?
I think it has to be a combination of both.
Is it held against you?
Yeah. I feel it has to be a combination of both. Especially when you're talking about the top 30 and then you come down to like, whatever, top 10 and stuff. Like,
if you're not looking at what the teams did, then put like Mikel Antonio in there because he helped West Ham finish in the top 5 kind of thing or whatever. Like it's
Emi Martinez probably gets into every top 10.
Let me ask you a question. Does Mason Mount belong on this list?
Oh, Mason Mount definitely belongs. Chelsea's player of the year. Chelsea, the best team in the world. Champions of Europe. What are you talking about?
He's Chelsea's player of the year.
Assist in the Champions League final.
It's just one assist.
Well, not just in the Champions League final. That was one of the most world-class assists you'll see in the Champions League final. Goal contribution in the final, semi-final, quarter-final. How many players have done that? He scored versus Real Madrid, scored versus Porto. Not many players have done that. How many players have that on their CV?
I don't know. Maybe I got to pay more attention to Mason Mount. But listen, if Mason Mount won Ballon d'Or,
he would not win. I mean,
the contest means so he shouldn't be on the list. Like, why are we wasting time?
Well,
we should all go away and do our own 30-man lists and then see.
That's true.
Who's put who on there?
I think the real question is like, but you know why they do these lists, right? They want people like how we're talking about it. They can't just announce the Ballon d'Or one fine day and be done with the entire Ballon d'Or hype.
I want to bubble through. I want to indulge them on this show, and we have because this list is.
Oh, you think this is contentious? Wait till they come out with an actual winner.
Also, the voting is bullshit as well because Messi's already said he's going to vote for his PSG teammates. Right. He's going to vote for Mbappe and Neymar.
Mm-hmm.
Who weren't even his teammates for the entirety of this, qualification year.
Yeah.
Well, he can't.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. So the voting's all biased as well. So it'd be interesting to see who wins.
I think the people who are allowed to vote are each country's captain
and manager,
the manager, and one reporter, journalist from each country. I think.
Yeah, it's something like that. I read something like that.
It's a popularity contest, isn't it?
Yeah, which will eventually mean I think Messi wins.
is Martin right to want Lewandowski to win? So this is the last thing I'll say about this. Lewandowski, he plays for Bayern Munich, right? In a league where when German players come to England, they don't survive. We're talking Schweinsteiger, we're talking Ballack, we're talking Podolski. Was it Podolski? We're talking Timo Werner. We're talking Havertz. We're talking. I think he's going to be fine. Jadon Sancho. I think he's going to be fine. But Sancho, we're talking in a league that is clearly you can't tell when watching it, but when you take a player out that league and put him.
No, you can tell. You can tell when you're watching it too. You can tell when there are teams facing relegation playing a high line. This is not a serious. The serious stuff is not happening here. Okay, so, how is every team playing a high line? Like teams that are battling for survival are also playing a high line, like that.
Because they're trying to maximize the players that they have. Because the low block,
I'm just saying it's so much easier. I'm just saying it's so much easier if you have quality to put the ball at the back of the net.
Right. I mean, listen. They found a different way to play budget football.
I think Lewandowski has a good shot, especially if you consider the fact that he missed out when he should have won when Bayern won the Champions League, and Ballon d'Or was cancelled for that year. So he might get like a sympathy vote on that.
I think he'll get top 3. I think he'll be in the 3.
Yeah.
So who do you think will win it, Lee? It sounds like you have ideas already. Better not be.
I think Kante might win it.
Yeah.
I'm not
That'd
sure.
That'd be nice, but that's some sentimental shit.
Yeah, I'm not sure because I don't know if they'll count France's Euros against him. Because if you're counting the Euros and that, then Jorginho might win it. Yeah. I mean, the guys played a part in 2 huge trophy wins that weren't the favourites for those trophies. So, and he's been a key player for both teams. Like, you know, he plays every game. He's just consistent. So
let me ask you a question. The guy who's never been better than Busquets, never had better stats than Busquets in a season, is going to win a Ballon d'Or.
But this is not a lifetime award, though.
I know, but I don't think he did better than Busquets.
Busquets had all his good seasons when he was playing with Messi, Iniesta, Xavi. Yeah.
Busquets is playing with Mason Mount, who you don't like. So, sorry, Jorginho is playing with Mason Mount, who you don't like.
But that's my point. Like, I guess that's my whole point. Was the level of footballer higher a few years ago than now?
I think it keeps changing. It goes up in cycles because if you see the Barcelona team that is so good.
So yes, then.
Now, for a Barcelona team, yes. But now you're seeing other teams, reaching their highs, they've gone through that transition period and they're kind of reaching their peaks. So I think that'll keep happening.
Yeah.
I think there is a good chance Messi will still win it though for the Copa America win and the Golden Boot in La Liga. So I think my top 3 that I'm predicting will be Messi, Jorginho, Lewandowski. I think Kante might miss out actually. I think it'll be those 3, but I'm not sure. It's the most open it's been in years.
I feel Kante should win, but based on the fact that he did what was the more, like if you look at, I think the top 4 is in whatever order is Kante, Jorginho, Lewandowski, Messi. Yeah. And I feel what Kante did.
Say that again. I'm sorry. Say those names again.
Kante, Jorginho, Lewandowski, Messi. I think these 4 have the strongest pitches to get the award. And I think among all 4, what Kante did was the toughest of the tasks because, being man of the match in both semifinals, in the final, and another previous knockout round, it's kind of unprecedented. And doing that in a team that was not fancied at all to win the Champions League is
at all.
He was such a big game player.
Nobody gave Chelsea a shot.
Every game he stepped up.
And he is also, the best player in his position in the world. So if you even want to give it for legacy reasons so that it looks good when you come down the rankings of the Ballon d'Or winners. I think he has the best shot, but I agree with you, Lee. I don't think he'll get it because of a little bit of recency bias. He with the Euros more insight, and always it's easier to give an award like this to an attacker than to a DM.
Can I give you my favorites?
Yeah.
Who shouldn't win it? Not to win it? My favorites who shouldn't and not win the Ballon. Simon Carr, Mason Mount, Cesar Azpilicueta, and I even Phil Foden. Like, come on. Like, Phil has a great future ahead of him. He'll probably legitimately be nominated one day, but this is...
Ian's doing the Ballon nah. Like,
the Ballon nah. Thank you. Ballon nah.
He's picking the worst people, sure.
We got a title for the episode.
The Ballon nah, yes.
But I mean, they got the Grand Class Bonucci Chileni, who I think were good for Italy.
But then they had a terrible Serie A season.
Exactly. So
yeah.
But they won a Euros with arthritis, so
yeah. So they had more to over in wheelchairs. Yeah, they did. Yeah, that's funny. Just to get out of here, just on the Premier League.
Luka Modric, that's so crazy. Anyway.
Yeah. And I love Luka, but I don't even like. I'm not even going to include him in like. He might be on the Ballon d'Or list.
I think they put him in the 30 because it looks really bad. You give somebody a Ballon d'Or, and then in the next Ballon d'Or, he's not even in the top 30.
Right. He did have a good Euros though. He did. It's not that he had a bad Euros. He had some shining, memorable moments.
He got pulled all over the park by a certain Mason Mount.
Yeah, but
two legs of the Champions League semi-final.
But he also won La Liga.
Mm-hmm. No, he didn't.
Yeah. Real Madrid won La Liga last year. No, you're right. Atletico did.
Yeah. So,
I'm just let me go to your teams. But so Tottenham, Newcastle, the trouble with Tottenham is in, and the boost from the new owners. Is the boost from the new owners affect the fans more or the players more?
I think a bit of both, because the fans will make it a good atmosphere because they're going to be full of positivity. Mm-hmm. And I think the players also now will be like, oh, I need to prove that I deserve to be part of this. Like, I mean, a lot of them probably won't once they start bringing people in. But in the short term, they're going to be like, you don't need to buy my position. Because, I mean, they're only going to have a limited amount to spend within financial fair play. They can't
190, 190, 290
million.
Yeah. So like if they, I don't know, it sounds crazy, but if they went and bought Kane in the transfer window, they can't replace the whole team. They can only buy like a couple of these guys.
Yeah, but all those, what's his name? What's their forward there? Is he Brazilian? What's their forward?
Saint-Maximin? Oh, Joe Linton, yeah.
Joe Linton. All those chances that Joe Linton misses, Kane will score. That puts them at least 10th or 9th.
I hope Joe Linton scores a hat-trick this weekend.
He probably will.
Here's what the rest of the league needs to do. Like, if you guys are serious, anybody at any level, like, whether you're mid-table or battling for top 6, top 8, top 4, the leaders, there's a war coming. You want to delay it by at least 1 year. Win every game against Newcastle before they can make any changes, and drive them to relegation. Make them from the richest team in the Premier League to the richest team in the Championship. That'd be like, even from like comedic point of view, that'd be just hilarious.
So that means you have to be willing, if you want to commit to this.
Yeah,
you have to be willing to not only beat them, but the teams that are in the relegation zone with them.
Lose to them.
Drop some points.
Yeah.
And make those points back up against other games,
to Burnley,
against the rest of the league. Yeah, that's how willing you got to be. So if you're willing, let me know. I'll talk to my people. So Southampton, you got Leeds. What do you think of your chances, Lee, against Leeds?
I mean, I think it'll be a tight game. They got their first win just before the international break. We're still looking for our first win. It depends. I'm interested to see what the atmosphere is like in the stadium, to see whether our fans are positive and trying to get behind the team, or if we start badly, whether or not the fans turn. Because there is a bit of growing sort of discontent in terms of the fact that we've not won a single game this season. And, you know, it might be that, you know, people are running out of patience a little bit. I think it'll be quite positive. I think people will be behind the team, but if we go 1-0 down, I want to see what happens. Like, do people turn on the team or on the manager? Because there have been boos in some of the games this season.
Right.
So yeah, it'll be interesting. But I mean, for me, it's my first game. It's my first Southampton game this side of the pandemic.
Right.
I couldn't go last season when they only allowed like a small amount of people into the games, and my schedule hasn't allowed me to get to any home games or away games this season. So yeah, I'm excited, but also we need a win.
Yeah, you do. I'm going to do Leicester, Man City. This is going to be tough, but there are
Man United, sorry.
Yeah, Man United versus Leicester City. Like we dropped points in our last game before the break, and we haven't been playing our best. And Solskjaer could help himself if he played the strongest team possible. Some good news is that I've seen some promising play from Sancho, and I know he, you know, I'm patient with him. I know he has to catch up with the speed of the league, and he's starting to express himself more in the last few games. Even for England against Andorra, he was very expressive. But again, that's Andorra. But that's why we bought him. So if he can perform against the weaker teams, it'll just give him more motivation and freedom and confidence to express himself against Leicester. There are a lot of pundits like killing Solskjaer for why are you playing him on the left side when he belongs on the right side. And these same pundits, if they played him on the right side, they criticize him for not starting Greenwood. So it's like, I think, do they know what they're doing, or are they just doing it on purpose?
He played both sides for Dortmund quite regularly.
Right, exactly. And then even for England, he was on the left against Andorra and fully expressed himself and had got 2 assists. So, you know, I just want to know if this is a calculated thing by the pundits, or are they not knowing? Like, what is it? Is, you know, what are they doing? Like, hey man, we have a Greenwood, we have to play him. He's a young developing talent. He plays on the right, and you know that's why Sancho's on the left right now. You know, so what were you gonna say, Neil?
I mean, at youth level, Sancho used to regularly play as a left winger.
Right.
Like I think there's some crazy games between Chelsea, Man City, and it was always Sancho versus Reece James on that wing. So
on what wing?
On that wing with
on the left.
On the left, Jadon Sancho
Right.
attacking and Reece James defending. So I don't see any problem with playing Sancho on the left, especially you know if before Rashford gets completely fit. I think it was just that at United for the longest time there's been this vacancy on the right wing. So the fact that you're spending so much money on Jadon Sancho kind of meant that you're bringing him for that right wing spot. But if Greenwood's doing good there, and he can't obviously play center forward now that Ronaldo's here, I think you know these players can move around a lot.
Right. I feel so too. I do feel like he would got off to a faster, better start on the right, but I understand 100% why he's on the left, and anybody that doesn't understand it and pretends not to understand it, I don't understand them. So that's just.
Didn't he play on the left for England versus Andorra?
Yeah,
yeah,
and he did great.
saying, yeah.
He fully expressed himself over there. Like I've seen him play for Dortmund too and do great over there. Like they won that tournament. Like they had to play Dortmund. Like they had to play was it Leipzig like 2 games in a row, and he got them into the top 4 into Champions League spot, and they won I think the Polka. So I don't understand what these pundits are saying, but Leicester's going to be tough. Let me see where they at in the standings.
I could see them like just soaking up a lot of your pressure, and then all of a sudden it'll be 1 ball in behind for Vardy, and they'll.
What do you think about the centre backs issue?
So we got. I don't know if Maguire will be healthy by the time the weekend rolls around. I don't know because he didn't play for England. I don't think he went, and then I don't know what type of an injury it was, and I have a feeling that what's his name is going to be out, Varane. But you know, I like Bailly, and he's fast, and he's got mistakes in him, but he needs a chance to play those mistakes out just like anybody else. Like I don't understand why we don't play him more or use him more, and so you know I'm not afraid to see Bailly. And
his pace could be useful against Vardy too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So you know, so I want to see that. Now our problem is when you bring up pace and the 1 ball to Vardy is we've been attacking so much, but we've been susceptible to counterattacks. That happened with the Villa game and also some of the games before. Like we'll have all the ball, we're attacking, and then they come back. So now that we're an attacking team, we're forced to be an attacking team now because of the wealth of attacking talent that we got, but we were bad at and we're not bad, but all the team needs is 1 goal, and then you just can't get that goal back. And it puts also pressure on the attacking players, and they have to have the composure. It's already pressure when you're 0-0. So, you know, we'll see. And we didn't get a chance to work on our counterattacking defense during the break. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. They should be aware of that. It's something that needs to be worked on, and you know we'll see what happens. But we need to win this. We do. We can't afford to drop any more points based on where we're at the table. And Leicester's hasn't been a great team. I think they're in like 13th place, and that's not indicative of where they're going to end up at the end of the season. They normally end up around 5th. So, but we have to beat them.
Yeah.
And Chelsea got Brentford. That's going to be tough at Brentford in that little last place. I call that a pressure cooker, and they're going to love
West London derby. I was going to say,
and they're going to love having you, like love it, like relish it, like the way Brentford looks at teams like Chelsea is like bring it on. They're not like all right, we're going to low block this, and they are going to bring it to you. So how you feel about this?
I mean, as Lee said, like this is going to be another West London derby. It looks like with Fulham, which should really be the derby, it's always been a very tame affair. So Brentford actually, like we've played them a few times in cup competitions. In the FA Cups, I think we played them a bunch of times in the last, I think 2017 we played them, 2013. I never remember seeing the Brentford crowd as I see them right now in the Premier League. So something has changed. I know they got a new stadium, but like the fans really seem to be up for every game at home. So yeah, it's gonna be a tough game. Brentford seems to be the team, like Leeds last season, Sheffield United the season before, the promoted team that's causing the most trouble. We got to watch out. Like they used that ball over the top to their forwards really effectively against Liverpool. So, but I feel like our centre backs should be able to deal with that.
I'm interested to see Tony versus Rudiger.
Oh yeah, that's going to be a street war.
Because Tony was beating up Van Dijk in the air.
Yeah.
In that game against Liverpool, he's like, he's a powerhouse. So yeah, him against, because Rudiger's going to fight dirty as well.
Yeah. I'm interested to actually see what kind of midfielders and starting forward line we end up using, because a lot of these players have gone away for international duty. So
Lukaku picked up a knock, didn't he, for Belgium?
Yeah, I mean, it's not exactly is it a knock or is it just wear and tear? So yeah, he didn't play that second game. I mean, maybe he'll be fine. Really don't know. I don't even know who's our backup striker, because the only game where we didn't use Lukaku as a striker, we had one, but one was playing off the striker. The center forward is actually Hakim Ziyech, which is really weird. So I don't know what's the plan if we. I think it'll be Havertz who ends up playing if Lukaku doesn't play. Whether we continue with Conte is back in training, Reece James is back in training. That's positive. So whether Loftus-Cheek keeps his place, he had a really good game the last couple of games. So yeah, there are definitely questions in those forward areas where somebody, if somebody has a real run of games where they're doing well, I think they can really put their hand up and solidify their place.
Well, at least you got a Chalobah.
Oh,
besides
he's been
besides Lukaku, isn't he like your second leading scorer?
Yeah, I won't be surprised. He got 2 goals, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, at least in the league. Yeah, I won't be surprised.
At least in the Premier League, yeah.
Yeah. We've gotten quite a few goals from our defense. We got, I think, if you consider the wing backs
Rudiger.
too.
Yeah.
Alonso.
Alonso might be your second leading scorer.
No, it is Chalobah, you're right.
Yeah.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so we got like 6 goals out of 15 from centre backs and wing backs.
How much goals from your centre backs and wing backs?
6, actually 7. Chilwell scored 2. So half our goals are coming from centre backs and wing backs. So
hilarious. Well, all right, guys, we'll see what's up this weekend. You don't have to give just want to see how you feel about these games coming up. And hopefully we all come back here reporting happy with wins for us and a loss for Tottenham, and let the fun begin.
Well, this game I am gonna root for Tottenham because I want Newcastle to lose.
I still
Neil's getting worried already.
Yeah. But I also like the whole concept.
You don't like
the story.
You don't like the feeling of being out-billioned?
No, I don't mind that. I think that's they have a lot of other dominoes to get over before they get to us. But I would love it for a storyline.
For them to get relegated.
Can you imagine the championship points tally next season? If they actually get
where we are in the league, I should probably be rooting for Spurs.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say.
Yeah.
It just makes me feel dirty to do
that. Yeah, who wants to be dirty? Yeah. Hilarious. Well, guys, thanks for coming on. Thank you, our producer Aaron Brungardt, for putting this together. Martin, for the brief amount of time. Actually, brief is better. So I appreciate you being too busy to stay for the whole thing. Good looking out, Lee. Get some sleep. Neil and your silver headphones. They look like, when you watch those Westerns and the guy has the silver revolver in his waistline. That's what those are. But thank everybody for listening. Be safe. Be good to each other. One love out there. And we see y'all next week.
Thanks, guys.
One.